Give me sweet and sour. Please.
So I'm just going to put nuggets and see what they got.
Hey, I'll take a 6. Believe me, I don't want to take a 6. Wow, I can't believe it. It's December 14th, 2018. Hey guys, as usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. And what a week it has been for Sonic the Hedgehog and Soulja Boy. But you know what? We're not going to talk about either of those things. What we do want to talk about is the video game publishing wars that are seeming to amp up. It's almost like a cold war of sorts for publishing games on PC. As you guys probably know, we talked about Epic Games launching their game store with a generous revenue split towards developers to publish their games on the platform. This is, of course, to compete with Steam, who has been trying to change things up as well. Now they're not the only horses in town. But just today, Discord has entered the ring. As you probably know, Discord has a store now. They sell games and stuff like that, and they have announced a self-publishing model where developers can publish their games on Discord with a 90-10 revenue split. This is, of course, compared to Epic and Steam, the best split for developers. And in a blog post, they just detailed it and said, hey, we did the research, we figured out that it doesn't cost that much, so we're going to give them the freedom and the tools to do so. So this might stress people out because it is yet another place where certain games are going to be on sale and possibly stress you out with having a bunch of launchers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, competition is good, right? The indie scene is already pretty awesome, but now that it might be even more affordable to put games out to the public, that could change gaming even more. The fact that all these different companies are jockeying to be the ones to be the platform for people to put their games out on, maybe will result in a win for all of us. Who knows? It's funny, though, just with stuff like this, because just when you think like gaming and like this type of stuff is going one way, all of a sudden things change. I just think in a lot of ways, us as just casual people couldn't really see this coming, but I am curious to see two things. Number one, discoverability. How are these sites or these platforms going to push and enable games to be discovered naturally? Like Steam has its front page, it's curated, then it has the top seller list, the trending list and stuff. Are these other platforms going to offer different ways, different opportunities for people to just stumble upon new games in new ways? Also, I am curious to see like console platform makers, Sony and Xbox and Nintendo, how they're going to react to stuff like this. Is this going to make enough of a publishing wave that we're going to see PC become even more of a priority? PC gaming has, of course, been on the rise, which is really cool, but I'm just curious to see how the industry as a whole is going to react. I'm talking really fast today. I had a lot of coffee. But another less serious, less businessy type news, let's talk about VR. I'm pushing this story because I still like VR. I still enjoy it. I'm still rooting for it. Even though it hasn't like changed everything, I really, really enjoy it. And this newest thing is really crazy because another startup has entered the VR fray, and this headset costs a lot of money. This company, VRgineers, has a $5,800 VR headset. This is, of course, going to be a PC-based headset, and it's huge. The size of it, the bulk of it, is absolutely massive. It's really funny considering the idea is to feel like you have nothing on your face. The flip side, though, with what you get here is a 180-degree field of view, and then 2560 by 1440 OLED displays. And apparently, because it is so large and so wide, you don't get a distortion on the ends of your field of view like you do with the other, like, you know, standard VR headsets that are out on the market right now. It's also going to have built-in leap motion hand tracking, which I think is really creative integration. But I'm curious to see if this is actually going to, you know, this is exactly what the problem is with VR right now, is that it's still pretty inaccessible to a lot of people. And a $5,800 price tag ain't gonna change much. I think it's gonna change VR experience for rich people, I guess, but I still always think it's fun to look at like the best of the best or like the craziest shit and just see where the bar is, you know? Which I do want to push the question to you guys because we always talk about this stuff. How are you feeling about VR? Did you ask for a PSVR for Christmas or something like that? I want to know from you guys because I'm always curious to see like how the community's reception of it is because it fluctuates. Oh, but another small VR news, if this does interest you, ZeniMax and Facebook have settled their lawsuit. The amount and the details are undisclosed for right now, but basically the whole Oculus versus Facebook for stealing ideas thing has been put to bed, if you have been following that story. From what it does seem, it seems like nobody's shutting down their VR, nobody's taking back Oculus Rifts and canceling them or anything like that, so that's where we're at.
So going?
Is that the McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yes, finally. Also, in case you missed it, this did kind of fly under the radar, but Metro Exodus does have a new release date. It's February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, so be sure to mark your calendars. Also, just now to move on to some cool things we linked in the description below. The first is Digital Foundry's video on Arc for Nintendo Switch, because yeah, that is still a thing, and they put it out, and it's very, very interesting, I'll say that. But also in the description, they're making a Metal Gear Solid board game, and I just wanted an excuse to talk about Metal Gear Solid again. This is a new board game, actually, because everyone's saying it's the first one. It's not. Technically, we had Metal Gear Solid 4 Risk, which I do own. I never opened it. I kept it in the packaging because I'm a collector. Also, I don't know how to play Risk. But this new board game is apparently really cool. It's really hardcore. It goes in depth with the whole first game. It's like a full tabletop experience to go in depth on. And the art on the box is really good, and I appreciate it. Also, it looks like we're getting Geralt of Rivia in Monster Hunter World. I'm really excited to see that. We got this announcement trailer. It's coming in 2019 as a free update, and it's nice to see Geralt's voice actor show up for it. I like that he always does. I appreciate that. Monster Hunter World, as far as I'm concerned, has been killing it. I'm curious to see how many Game of the Year lists it hits. If you did play when the game first released, I'm curious to see if you think Geralt is enough to warrant you jumping back in. And in some other interesting news, I think some of people out there would find this interesting. It looks like South Korea has finally officially cracked down on boosting. For those of you that don't know, boosting is essentially the term for taking an online game account that is someone else's with their permission and playing and grinding and essentially building them up for profit, for a fee. But in more recent years, with the rise of like competitive gaming and esports and stuff, boosting has been used in a way to kind of get people to increase in ranking. And with competitive gaming being such a big thing in the world and South Korea, that's a no-no. And South Korea has now officially outlawed for-profit boosting. The South Korean government calls this act the Act on the Punishment of Alternative Game Act. That's a lot of the word act. Believe it or not, the penalties are like getting imprisoned for 2 years or a fine of 20 million won. Thanks to our source ESTNN, we know that that's about 18,000 American dollars. Holy shit. Judging from the government's response on this, it seems like it was a pretty widespread thing in South Korea. It gained a lot of popularity around the time of World of Warcraft. I just think it's fascinating. The article is really interesting. The whole world of boosting and this other video game culture is worth, looking into and exploring. And before I move forward, I do want to point out there's a link in the description below to submit your entries, your choices for Game of the Year 2018. GameRanx's Game of the Year 2018 video is going to be ramping up soon. We're going to be working on that. So like last year, we're going to take viewer submissions. We want to know your choices. There's going to be options, and then there's going to be a write-in option. So put whatever you want. Go in the link, vote. We want to see the results. Last year, like 40,000 people voted, and we want that response again. Just a quick episode to wrap up a very, very busy week. If you haven't seen it already, check out our Soulja Boy console before you buy. Also Insurgency Sandstorm before you buy. We've been working on a lot of videos, and we hope you like them. But we got to do the console giveaway we do now. That's linked in the description. You go down there, you click to sign up, you enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because Tom's going to be reaching out to you to find out how we can send you your free stuff. But let's talk about all the stuff we covered today in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Would you spend over $5,000 for a VR headset? Do you love the VR experience that much? Also, the whole thing of all these different developer publishing models coming out now, what do you think that means for you as a consumer? Also, if you make games or if you're studying to make games, I want to know what you guys think. Did you pick up Arc on Switch? Because I want to know your perspective on how that beast runs. Also, have you ever paid money to have someone boost your account in like an MMO or something? I'd love to hear your story. But let's talk about anything down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys as much as possible. But of course, anything at all, you want to yell at me, social media, Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But I always say it, thank you guys for watching us every week. We're also live on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you want to check that out, there's a playlist on the main page if you missed a live show. But clicking the like button helps us out. We really appreciate that. And if you're new, I gotta say it, it's worth subscribing and hitting that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me. Let's eat.